Guys, welcome back to Let's Play Shadow Hearts Covenant. Last time we began our escape from the St. Marguerite Island prison.
Now you're trapped.
Like rats. Ooh, the brains of the outfit. Good, good.
So where's your leader, Nikolai?
He's not here anymore.
So where is he?
I'm not telling you.
You don't know.
Yes, I do.
So where?
I'm not telling.
Please, God, don't let this work
you don't
again.
Know.
I just told you I do know.
Yeah, right.
That's right. I don't know. What kind of an idiot would fall for your stupid little trick?
Poor Lenny. Kind of feel sorry for him.
I'll kill you for that. I swear I'll kill you.
You're gonna kill me? Oh, hello. Lots of enemies. Let's not and say we did. Alright, before we get to the big enchilada and before we get around to saving Roger here, Yuri, did you just move him out of the combo? Okay, good. Sometimes that's permanent. But yeah, before we do all that, we have to deal with a bunch of scrubs. So let's do that. Let's see, Red Brave. Now, the thing with this here is we can take out some of the enemies relatively easily. Let's show off this, since this is new. Can we hit all three? Or all four, rather. No, we can't hit all four. Well, let's target three of them anyway. And this is why I knew I needed to practice before I started! Wow. Okay. Let's go with Blanca here. The reason is because Gale Spark. Let's see here. I'm not going to get them all, so we're not going to do that. Gale Spin. Can I hit them both? I cannot hit them both. Let's back out here. What else we got here? Yuri. Let's have Yuri transform and see if our piercing attack will be useful. Okay, that's gonna hit them both. My thumb must be cold because it felt like I hit way late on that. Blanca. Alright, so we're not gonna get two there. Gale Spin. We get these two? Perfect. So yeah, my approach to fighting these scrubs is to get rid of them as quickly as possible. And take as little damage as possible because we have... well, we have a more important fight to deal with. Wait! I just killed them! Round 2, fight! It is exactly the same fight as we just had. This time, maybe we won't screw up the ring, and things will go better for us. Yeah, there's not really a lot to say about these fights. They're just kind of there. So we got some Rock Storm here. I'm going to target the ones in the back here. Missed by a mile. But I used a higher powered one, so that took them out. That's good. Let us use... Blanca didn't use a lot of MP in the last one. Let's have you go again. And we'll do our Gale Spin. We can still hit 3 with Gale Spin, which is very nice. And as long as we're perfect, we should be able to one-shot them. There we go. And... sure, we'll put Yuri in there. he can finish it off. But yeah,
That was a pretty good warm-up.
your goal isn't to expend too much MP and kind of spread that out a little bit, which is why I use different people to do different attacks. And more! This time they give you a different formation, which they're in groups of 2, which should be easy enough for us to handle. I could have had you refuse there and get everything all started right away, but I didn't because brain power. Alright. Let's see. Do we want to use... I don't want to use too much of your MP, so we're going to go for this. I completely whiffed. Now, that's what happens when you screw up. Now I have to deal with all of them attacking, all of them using attacks when everyone's all bunched up, which is the absolute last thing you want to do going into a more difficult fight coming up. Especially when they spam it over and over and over again, and I'm going to need to use Arc here before we're done, if I survive at all. So yeah, these fights can either go extremely well for you, or if your fingers are cold, bad things happen. Bad things happen. Do you still have Arc Cure? You don't have Arc Cure. Who has Arc Cure? Well, you obviously don't have it. Let's have you transform, which should bring in Joachim. Now the thing is, I'm not going to go for the full 4-person combo anyway, because I really need to heal. And it's important that I get that done before we move on to the what's coming up here. Karen, do you have... You have Art here. Okay. So, Blanca... Unfortunately, Barbaria is running lower on MP than I would have liked. I ended up having to use too much MP. So let's use Blanca, and... Can we hit 2 enemies? We can't hit 2 enemies. Well, that kind of sucks. And then I missed. My fingers are cold. Fingers are cold, they don't work very well. Joachim. Unfortunately, you're going to have to finish that guy off now. It's a lot of damage. Crest Magic, Art Cure. Okay, hopefully I warmed up my fingers a little bit. We'll see. We still have to heal up Karen a little bit. Don't really want to go into the fight without as much HP as I can muster. Yeah, we'll just do the whole thing again, whatever. Alright, so we'll max out everyone's HP with that. And then we should be able to finish off the rest of these guys here. We got 2 of those guys. Now, where are they all located? I'm not going to be able to target any of them, so we'll target this guy. I missed. A lot of damage, but I missed. Let's go for you. I almost missed that one too. Wow, I'm doing terrible on the ring today. I guess my trend of doing absolutely terrible in boss fights is going to continue. I can just see it coming now. So yeah, the same fight, you know, you're fighting basically the same amount of the same enemy, but it goes entirely one way or entirely another way, depending on basically how well you do at the ring.
So I'm the last of the Steel Claws. You go join Nikolai and the Master. I'll take care of these guys myself.
Okay. I'll go ahead and wait for you there.
You go too. Just stay out of my way. All I want's the old man.
I can't do that. We're gonna finish it now. Bring it on!
Well, now you'll notice that Yuri looked like he was mouthing something there. I don't know if that's ever, like, I don't know if he says something in the Japanese version, it just didn't make sense this time around, but yeah, kind of weird. Alright, so I've specifically set up Blanca to be furthest away from Yuri because Blanca has the most speed and I expected Blanca to go first. Yuri is set in the middle of the other two so that I can do this and then have Yuri transform and get my 4-person combo. Now, we have Lenny, but a stronger version of Lenny than we've had to deal with before. God Hand. 1960 HP, Earth-based, can use Petrify, which is why I went over my setup in the previous episode where everyone was protected against petrification. The only thing you can inflict on him is slow. So normal attacks are actually somewhat worthwhile using this time around. The only bit of a downside here is I kind of want Blanca to go first because, again, line-based attacks. And we need to do a 24-hit combo if we're going to get the proper reward here. So one way of doing that is to go after things right off the bat. The other option is to use now as an opportunity to set up buffs. And if that was the case, I probably should have had Blanca actually do buffs. But we're going to go and try and inflict slow on this guy first and foremost. Both Yuri and Joachim have it set up. If I can get slow going, that will make my life a lot easier. Okay, we got the slow in. Good. That's kind of going to be really important. So now I got that with 2 normal attacks. So now I can have Blanca go for Gale Spark when he's still on the ground normally. We got all hits in. And now we have Karen finish up with this. And we got our 22-hit combo, and I inflicted slow. The amount of damage we deal, not particularly substantial, doesn't matter. The point was we got our status effect in, and we got our combo in. So now what we can do is we can have everyone set up their own buffs. We can energy charge with you. We can... What do you have? What do I want to do with you? let us go the surge route on Blanca. Good, and you can set up Entrance also on Blanca. So now we have two party members that are really set up to do a lot of damage. I'm gonna go, do I want to go Gale Spark? I think I want to go Soul Comet for this. The downside to setting things up this way is you don't get your superpowered characters in on the combo a lot of the time. So that's a thing. But even without combo damage, look how much damage we deal now. As much as our entire previous combo. And we've got him down to a quarter life. And with that, with the debuff in of slow, which was just really lucky to get that going on turn 1, we shouldn't have too much difficulty with the rest of this fight. I almost missed that by a mile. Yeah, without Entrance, we do substantially less damage, also without the Perfect, but let's have Karen go in, and let's have Karen do this. Building up the amount of combo damage before going for the big hit at the end, which in this case is going to be Grand Slam, does add more damage. As you can see, the combo builds up even more now that there's more hits in. And he's going to get one more turn in. And yeah, he can use Petrify, which is what we were trying to avoid. And we can set up the combo, but we aren't going to need it. And this is surprisingly, after how bad things were going in the pre-battles there, this is pretty much how boss fights can go if you set things up properly and you don't screw up the ring. Pretty much all there is to it. I missed. Let's try that again. And that was... I had a feeling I was only going to take the one hit, but I wanted to set up the combo anyway, just in case.
That was a piece of cake.
It was indeed. This is the way the game works if you are effective with your Judgment Ring, unlike how I've been in many of the other fights. 24 hit combo, strike expand, and we also get bandit earrings for this fight, which is very nice. Bandit earrings, like the previous game, we get 20% less drops for 20% more money. Again, boss fights like the previous game are guaranteed to give you all the drops you're supposed to get, so you're not going to miss out those, so you should always equip them during boss fights. Most normal drops from enemies aren't particularly useful, so we don't need to worry about that, at least until like the end of the game. Unfortunately, we can't buy them this time around, and we only get the one.
Lenny.
You got me.
Lenny!
Yuri, voice acting!
Hey, Roger, wake up.
Huh. He looks the same underneath.
He kinda does.
Comments to yourself. Besides, you're late getting here.
Hey, who's this weird-looking gentleman?
What a rude young lady. My name is...
Wait, what? I didn't get to name anybody else in this game. Yeah, this is the only time this screen appears in the entire game. Now, this is a callback to the previous game where they gave you the option to name Roger as, I think it was Mysterious Creature in the last one. Now he's listed as Odd Creature and his name is Roger. I don't know if you can change it. It doesn't matter. I'm just going to confirm it.
No, that's not it. It's Roger Bacon. Yes, master philosopher, alchemist, and eternal love god. Oh!
Enough of that. We don't have time for your long-winded self-introductions.
Eh? What are you talking about? Ah! It doesn't look like his bones are broken. Hey, you old goat! Watch out where you're touching! I'm not doing it because I want to. You didn't give it to him, did you, Yori? You didn't give Nikolai the book, did you?
Well, you see,
You gave it to him. I was tortured for several days and didn't talk. Tortured until my soul cried out, ouch!
Don't be so
stop your
mean.
complaining. We'll get it back already, okay?
Guy's been tortured.
Oh, it's terrible. If we don't do something, there'll be another terrible tragedy.
Get a hold of yourself. First, we have to get out of here. Then we can talk, okay?
She's right. We should leave before they come back.
Well, okay.
Guy's been tortured for days. Acts like he's completely fine. So does Yuri. They just don't care. Also, yes, Roger's voice sounds ridiculous. And of course, it's Roger. We know Roger from the previous game. He's a ridiculous, strange old creature that's centuries old, or however that bloody hell old he is. And so it makes sense to give him a dumb voice. It's just to kind of match the craziness of the character, which is fine. But I don't know, that whole introduction just, it plays too much up on the comedy. And that's, I think, my biggest problem with this game compared to its prequel. The original Shadow Hearts was rated M for mature. It was this dark horror genre mixed with an RPG, and the level of kind of like dark atmosphere, the dark nature of the art. You know, we saw dead bodies everywhere, especially early on. And even though there was comedy, it was balanced really well. This game, you know, this was a specific time where they should have kind of cut out the comedy, but because it's Roger's introduction, they decided to play up the comedy, and because we're rescuing him from being tortured, it just didn't really make a whole lot of sense. And this game focuses a lot more on the comedy aspect than it does on the dark aspect. From what I've heard, the third game in the series focuses even more so on comedy, and the second game is actually a bridge in between the dark nature of the first game and the complete craziness of the third game. I haven't played the third game, so I don't know for sure, but if that's the case, I can only imagine how stupid the third game will be when I eventually get around to playing it.
A number of secret societies were born at the turn of the 20th century. Many of them were derived from the Jesuits or the Rosicrucians. Among them, Sapientes Gladio was one of the most interesting. At first, they worshipped the Lord humbly and worked for equality. They valued each other's opinions and were an extremely idealistic group. They broke down barriers between races, and just when it looked like they would extend their influence, it happened. With the appearance of one man, the activities of Sapientes Gladio were perverted into something else. The man who became the new leader pushed his own elitist agenda, so that only those who could prove their superiority could join the group. They sent the message that, in the name of their secret society's ideals, they would do whatever was necessary.
So they're terrorists.
Exactly right. Sapientes Gladio, as they are now, is nothing more than a group of dangerous terrorists.
If we don't stop them, something terrible will happen.
But why you, Roger? Why was Sapientes Gladio hunting for you?
Good question. They wanted 3 things: my life, the Emigre manuscript, and...
And what?
I think it would be better if I showed you that.
It's a strange use of no background music during his first little monologue there. Anyway. Gotta get back to my house as fast as we can, huh? Before we do that, there's one thing I would like to take care of. If you remember, when we were in that dungeon, we found something. This is the treasure you hid. Don't believe it. Can't believe you beat me. Let's do it again. We got the treasure love. You find the treasure, you win. If not, I win. So basically, even if we lose, we just don't find the treasure. It's not like we lose anything. Let's take a quick peek at that. Look back. Well, that looked like a whole lot of gibberish. And though if you're like me, you're like, okay, I think it's this, and then you start and it's like, yeah, okay, yeah, that's what it was. I will actually read that out when we get to the location where it exists, just because it makes more sense to do it there. Yeah, that's pretty much all we need to do in here. So let's bail on the city for now. Got a couple of new weapons, which is nice. Now, we're directed to go back to Wales. I don't want to go quite back to Wales quite yet. Also notice that Appointia Tower and Dom Remy are still grayed out. We can't go back there. Everything else we can still go back to, including the port of Southampton. I don't know if this is going to work or not, but next time, we have something that we can do here. And it involves Joachim and a wrestling ring. That's all for this one. And I'll see you guys next time.